up, you guys? My name is Aubrey and this is my channel, and today we're going to be talking about a handful of different things. Number one is I'm going to be answering some of your questions regarding the revival of the EIDL program. You see, a couple of days ago, the SBA administrator had a hearing with the Senate's Committee of Small Business and Entrepreneurship, and in that hearing, she announced that the EIDL program would be opening up to the general public. So I'm going to be answering a handful of your questions regarding that. In addition, I'm also going to be talking about the new $100 million grant program that the SBA rolled out this week. With this grant program, specific organizations could be eligible for anywhere between $1 million and $5 million in SBA grant funding. So let's get started. Now, before we begin, I would like to note that we are quickly approaching June, which is quite honestly like mind-blowing to think about. But with the approach of June comes the approach of my brand new course that is available for pre-sale. It is called the Freelancing Masterclass, and it's a course that walks you through the entire process of how to start a side hustle in the world of freelancing. So it teaches you how to start making money from your own home on your own time outside of your traditional 9-to-5 job. This is a really cool course. It takes you through the entire process from A to Z on how to make money in the world of freelancing, and it is currently available for pre-sale and will only be available for pre-sale for a few days longer. So if you're interested in checking that out, I will include a link to that down in the description below. I will also include a link to that down in the pinned comment section as well. So with that, let's dig into the topics of this video, and let's start off with this $100 million grant. So this week, the SBA started rolling out a program called the Community Navigator Pilot Program. And this is a program that received $100 million in funding through the American Rescue Plan. But basically what this program is it's an effort to try to make SBA resources more readily available to the general public. You see, every single day I talk to people who don't know all of the resources that they have available to them through programs like the SBA. I mean, there is so much assistance out there, but the problem is unless you look for it and unless you know what to look for and know what to navigate, there's really no way that you can figure out that these programs even exist. In fact, before I started making SBA videos, I had no idea that the SBA had half of the resources that they had, and I'm somebody that has received an SBA loan in the past. And so for businesses, business owners, 1099 workers, entrepreneurs who may not have the experience and the know-how to navigate the waters of the SBA and of SBA resources, it can be extremely challenging. And as a result, you can oftentimes miss out on opportunities that you have available to you, and you miss out on these simply because you simply don't know that they exist. Well, the Community Navigator Pilot Program is a program that the government is trying to implement to try to help solve this problem. It is basically a way and an incentive for nonprofit organizations or local and state governments to come in and assist people in the process of navigating for the SBA. The summarized verbiage that the SBA uses on their website is that the Community Navigator Pilot Program is a grant being offered between $1 million and $5 million to organizations that provide counseling, networking, and information on resources to small businesses working to recover from the impact of COVID-19. And so again, basically this is a grant that is targeted towards nonprofits, organizations, state and local governments that can then use that money to help their citizens, help people in the community navigate the COVID-19 relief and the kind of post-pandemic world that businesses are trying to get past so that way they can continue business as normal. Now, this is something that I'm not dedicating a full-on video to because of the fact that I'm willing to bet the vast majority of people that watch this channel are not only not interested in this type of grant because you probably don't have an organization that adheres to what this is, but number two, typically the people who watch this channel are not nonprofits, they're not organizations, they're not state and local governments. And so because of that, this is definitely a very niche grant. And so chances are the vast majority of people that watch this channel simply will not qualify for it or will not have a need for it. But if you're somebody that does have a nonprofit, if you work for a government entity, whether it be a small local government or a state government, or you work in some sort of resource center that does help small businesses, then this is something that you could potentially look out for and you could potentially take advantage of. But again, this is something that the vast majority of people that watch this channel will not have access to. And because of that, I'll just sort of leave it at that. I will include a handful of links down in the description below if you're somebody who is interested in looking into this a bit further. But again, this is something that is typically for nonprofits, organizations, and state and local governments. Next, let's talk about the EIDL and the fact that the EIDL looks as though it's coming back in June. So yesterday, I made a video summarizing the hearing that Isabel Guzman had with the Senate committee, the Committee of Small Business and Entrepreneurship, about SBA oversight. And in this hearing, there was a lot of different discussions, including discussions on, the PPP, the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, the Shuttered Venue Grant, and of course, the EIDL program. If you guys are interested in listening to my full summary of that, then I will include a link to a playlist down in the description below. But one of the most notable topics that was discussed during this hearing is the return of the EIDL grant. During this hearing, lawmakers discussed the fact that the EIDL targeted cash advance was not reaching enough people, and SBA Administrator Guzman was asked about whether or not the program would open up to more business owners and entrepreneurs, and at which point she answered yes, that there are plans to open up the program to more people in the month of June. So let me break down exactly what we know as of right now regarding the EIDL coming back. The first here is the targeted EIDL cash advance, which was a $10,000 cash advance that was given to eligible businesses. This was an invite-only program. You had to be invited via email, and in order to be approved, you had to show a 30% gross revenue decline, and you had to have come from a low-income community per the IRS's definition of low income. The second tier, which is the supplemental targeted cash advance, was a $5,000 targeted cash advance. And with this one, you could get up to $5,000. It was also invite only via email. You had to also be able to prove that you are from a low-income community per the IRS's definition of a low-income community. You also had to show a 50% gross revenue decline, and you had to have been able to show that you had 10 employees or less. With these two programs, you could receive up to $15,000 because you could theoretically receive both if you met both sets of criteria. Now, in order to have been on the invite list to either one of these programs, you would have had to have applied for the EIDL loan before December 27th, 2020. If you did not apply for the EIDL loan before December 27th, 2020, then you did not receive an invite. But as of today, it looks as though the SBA is opening that up to more people. And if you're somebody that had applied for the EIDL loan after December 27th, 2020, then you could be eligible for this EIDL targeted cash advance. Now, Isabel Guzman explicitly stated during the hearing that they would be opening it up to applicants who applied after December 27th, but she didn't state what other sets of criteria would be adjusted in order to accommodate to a larger population of business owners. And as of right now, we don't know exactly what that's going to look like. Will the SBA drop the low income requirement? Will the SBA lower the threshold for gross revenue decline that you have to show? Will the SBA drop that 10 employee minimum? To be honest, as of right now, we don't know the answer to that. And there is really no indication to see where the SBA is going to go. I ultimately think that there is a chance that the SBA could drop the low income threshold. I do not think that it is likely that the SBA will drop the gross revenue decline threshold. I think that they will still require businesses to show a significant gross revenue decline, but I think that they could potentially let in more business owners in a wide variety of different communities and income brackets to apply if they're able to show that gross revenue decline as well. We don't know exactly who this program will open up to. We don't know when it's going to open up, and we also don't know what the application process will look like either. Will the program have a application on the website that we can fill out like the first round of EIDL funding? Will it be invite only once again? How exactly will this work? We don't know the answers to any of those things, and so it will be incredibly interesting to find out what is going to happen in the coming weeks. We know that it's going to happen sometime in June, but we don't exactly know when. I would suspect that it's probably going to be in early June, but again, you never know with the SBA, you never know exactly what's going to happen, so you guys will just have to stay tuned. One other thing that I would like to mention is that I do think that if you're somebody who was denied the targeted or supplemental EIDL cash advance because of low income, I do think that this could be your opportunity opportunity to potentially try to get that funding once again, either it be through reapplying, through submitting a request for reevaluation, whatever the case is. I think that this will be a really good opportunity for you guys. So if you are somebody that was denied either the targeted or the supplemental cash advance, then this is going to be a really good opportunity for you. But with that being said, you guys, I hope that this answered some of the questions that you had regarding both the Community Navigator pilot program as well as the revival of the EIDL program, or at least the reopening to the EIDL program to the general public. Like always, if you have any questions, comments, if you have anything to add, then make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video.